Penis, 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 penis. Penis, penis. Penis, 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 penis. My window is open and there is a dog outside. Penis, penis, penis. Penis, penis, penis. Penis, 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 penis. Penis, why am I hearing keys? I'm hearing key sounds. You guys can probably also hear key sounds because my window's open and I'm in an apartment complex. But, yeah, there's keys outside. They can probably hear me being an idiot and talking to myself, but I mean, does that really matter? Oh, frick, I don't have, okay, fricking, I have to go to the fridge and grab a fricking drink now. I'll be right back. I hate you, but thank you. Okay, I'm back. Why are there so many hydrates? I'm literally just gonna chug this soda can. I'm literally just gonna chug the soda can. I left my door open. I'm gonna close my door real quick. Fuck you, Marcus. Alright, sorry. Door closed. Now I get to chug freaking soda. My hair got in the soda. I'm sorry. It's so carbonated. Why did I grab a soda? I could have grabbed like a glass of water. Why did I unpause the game? I can't play this game with one hand. Oh no. This is so sad. Oh god. Why did I pick a soda? And it's like canned soda too, which is like infinitely more carbonated than like actual soda. Like if you get a soda from like a store or something, it's not as carbonated as canned soda, so it's a lot easier to chug. Don't ask why I know this, but I chug soda a lot. Oh god, it went down the wrong pipe. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die so hard. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm dying. Gameplay. Gameplay on game. This sucks. This is the worst start of a stream I've ever done. I'm just coughing to my microphone. No! I'm just gonna finish this entire soda can, but I'm like dying. There's so much air in my stomach. I hate this. No. For anybody watching in the future, I have a stream points thing where people can force me to consume whatever liquid I'm drinking. And these two people in chat are using all of their stream points to force me to just like chug, and I'm dying. A perfect start to a stream, literally like flawless. I was gonna like do a chill stream, hope that nobody showed up, and like just enjoy playing a video game for a bit, but now it feels like I'm gonna die, which honestly, that's more entertaining. Sorry if the fan's getting in the way, it's really hot. And I think we also have AC, but I think my roommate turned off the AC. My roommate also might be annoying, but you know, whatever. He also probably heard me say that he could be annoying, and also when I went to go grab this from the kitchen, I saw him standing in the hallway like a creepypasta. So that's cool. I like seeing my roommate be a creepypasta. I'm gonna die tonight, by the way, but you know, whatever. Still drinking soda. Yeah, I'm very hydrated. Doesn't help that I also like I drank a lot before this stream because it's very hot and I'm very dehydrated. Okay, I think I'm done. I drank like 90% of that soda. Okay, let me like actually play the video game now. Oh my god. Oh, I messed up. No! Stop! Stop it with the hydrate. Oh my god. I hate all of you. At least the soda's cold, so it's like kind of helping how hot it is in here, but I'm still like dying, you know? Oh my god. I feel like I have to burp, but it's not coming out. And if I do burp, it's just gonna suck. It's gonna be like the biggest burp ever, and it's gonna be right directly into the microphone. Oh god. I hate this. I hate all of you. I hate you guys so much. Oh, how am I supposed to play a video game in this economy? Okay. I do not feel good after that. Usually I like drinking soda slow and enjoying it, but you know, it's whatever. Oh god. I'm also gonna sit back a little bit Oh, why does it feel so bad? Okay, actually, like, I'm gonna seriously take a bit of a break from the hydrates. I appreciate it, but I'm dying. So, oh god, that I like actually feel sick from that. I'm sorry. I would usually do the joke more, but oh, there we go. Oh god. I'm so disgusting. There goes all the burps, I guess. That's cool. Okay, no longer feel sick. I can actually play the video game. Yay, video game. So yeah, sorry for not streaming for forever. I've literally like had internet. No, I've literally like had internet for almost a week. Or I think it's like almost a week or a week exactly. And I haven't had the urge to play any video games. Like in the entire last week, I've played a single round of Slay the Spire, and that was it. That was my entire gaming existence over the past week. And then I was showing my roommate how good I am at this game, and then I decided to show him this level, and then I played a few attempts, and I got really like close to the end of it. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna turn on the camera and probably die. But, you know, it's... as long as I, like, get into the habit of it. Because honestly, I think, like, main hard part of this is just because I, like, have the actual job outside of this. It's very hard to have motivation for streaming along with, it's hard to have motivation for streaming along with also working, like, 40-ish hours a week. I think I'm working 41, 42 hours a week. So it's average amount of work, but still, it's like, it's a new job, so I'm not quite used to it, and it's taken a lot of my attention from me, and also just like moving and everything. But of course, these are just excuses. I've totally had enough free time to stream, I just haven't done it. But yeah, I'm very hopeful that I get back into streaming stuff, because it is super fun to do. I just haven't been doing it as much as I should. And I don't know exactly why I feel like it's an obligation, but I do, so that's cool. I think it's like the second that I got actual money from people, I think that just made me feel like I had to actually put effort into this, because before I could get any money, it was just kind of like for my own self-gain. Like, people viewed it and I was like, haha, I'm the center of attention and whatnot. But then people paid money and I was like, oh, people like expect stuff out of me, and they like enough to like give me currency. And I think that didn't really help with the whole like being stressed thing. But yeah, I hope I get better. Why is you suck blocked? Okay. But yeah, I do think, I don't know, I turned on this game assuming to suck. I just kind of wanted background to like talk over, and this is a very good like background-y game. Because it like has pretty colors, but not much stuff is happening. So I'm allowed to suck at it because nothing interesting's happening. And then if I do like actually pull it off, I'm just gonna pop off for a bit, and then everybody's gonna be like, whoa, and I'm gonna be like, whoa, and all that, you know? Which, I mean, it's not gonna happen, because even if I do get to like the end part of this, I'm gonna freak out and probably miss the like okay. So in this game, like before the DLC, this was the last level in the video game. And there's a mechanic called wave dashing, which lets you. It's this thing where, it's this thing where you like dash at the ground and then you get a bunch of momentum and everything. But that was only added into the DLC, which I've played the DLC a lot, where it like forces you to get good at that. And in this level, the like final jump is a wave dash, but it's not a proper wave dash. So it literally just like confuses my brain whenever I get there, because my brain sees the level and it's like, oh, you gotta do the wave dash, and then I get to the part and then I try to wave dash, but the ceiling isn't like high enough for it, because you gotta do like a garbage wave I think it's called like a ground boost or something, but it's just a lot more awkward to pull off. So it's, yeah, I've made it to the end a couple times, and each time I have failed because I tried to wave dash instead of doing the actual thing. But, you know, I'm hoping I can do it eventually, and also, like, because I do live in an apartment complex now, I don't think I'm going to be able to do much funny screams, just because I, like, care that I don't get a noise complaint and get kicked out of the apartment. There also might just be more extra background noise, probably because I have a fan on that's blowing directly into the microphone, and also I am like in the middle of an apartment complex. So if the other like tenants freaking make any noise at all, it's just gonna go directly into my microphone. Because my microphone is kind of like sensitive at picking up noise, and I don't even have a pop filter for it, which definitely doesn't help. But, you know, it's whatever. You gotta do what I gotta do. I do think I'm gonna try getting a face cam. I'm not gonna use it for, like, actual face cam stuff. Or, like, I'm not just gonna have a face cam in the corner of the screen, because I think that's boring, and my face is usually not entertaining. But, I'm not against doing, like, some just chatting streams, where I just, like, you know, chat. So yeah, I'm not against just like doing chat and streams. It actually sounds kind of fun. I just think like for my content, the video game exists and I'm like playing it. It's just so that I can like have something to go on for visual stuff while I just like say words and do dumb stuff, which it's kind of the reason I didn't like Psychonauts too much, just because it was very dialogue heavy, and I felt like every time I tried to go and just make a joke, the game just made a funnier one. Like the game cut me off and then made a better joke than what I was gonna say, and it was really disheartening. But yeah, and I also like the last level that I did just kind of wasn't fun, and I've heard from like one person that I talked to at least that was like a huge fan of the game. They told me that was like the worst part of the video game, and that also I was playing it wrong, because there's like a level up system for some garbage reason, and what the frick was that? But yeah, for some of the later levels you have to be a high enough level to like even access it. Or, well, no, you can access it, you just can't like beat the levels unless you're a high enough level, which I think is really dumb, because if you can get to a level you should be able to beat it. But I guess that's my personal philosophy and not what the designers of Psychonauts thought. And I was kind of tempted to like play Psychonauts 2, but it's kind of expensive, and I didn't really like Psychonauts 1. Of course they definitely like changed the video game, but I don't know if I want to spend $60 on a game that I don't know I'll enjoy. Like I'm usually hesitant to spend like $30, or even that. Like, I know this game, it's $15. I waited for it to go on sale before I even bought it, and now I've shoved in like almost 100 hours. I did the same thing with like Stardew Valley and Rain World, that game that I got addicted to and got like a slight amount of attention from. I definitely like most of the games that I play, I wait for them to get on sale, even if they're not that expensive usually. Just because, like, you know, whatever. Also, funny bot that I should ban, but too busy gaming. This is why I should have mods, but nobody watches my streams enough to be a mod. You die. Okay. They have been banned. But yeah, I don't know, I just feel like it's good to have a stream where I just like say words that have been kind of on my mind, because it's stuff that's going on in my life does kind of like relate to streaming stuff, because if I'm not in a good mood, I'm not gonna stream because I don't want to like ruin. I don't want to just like stream myself not being happy. Because I think that would just be boring and nobody would want to watch it. So I'd much prefer just like not doing anything until I'm in an actual good mood, and then like pumping out what I believe to be better content. Because like if I work a super hard day at work and then I get home and I'm dying, I'm not just gonna like turn on the camera anyway, because I don't think I can be entertaining in that state. Like I worked a hard day at work. I wasn't gonna stream today, but then I did not. I just had fun playing this stupid video game, and I was like, huh, you know, video games can be fun, even if I'm not in like the best mood ever. Oh my god. Yeah. Also, that's what I mean by I get to that final part and then I panic and mess up. But yeah, I don't know. I hope that'll start streaming some more. I don't know what games I'm gonna play. I have a few in mind, but I don't feel like any of them are gonna be games that people would want to watch. But that's probably just gonna be a forever problem, and I should just stream the games that I want to play, and then hope that people also enjoy those games. I just say that like my main problem with that is a lot of the games that I very much enjoy were like not popular in their like most popular times, like they were barely known of or known about, and then I go play them like 5-10 years in the future, and everybody's like, what the frick is this game? And like even then it doesn't help, because if people are gonna be like searching up a game to watch, they're probably not gonna be searching up a game that wasn't popular like 5 years ago. They're gonna be searching up whatever the frick is popular now, or any like actual good game they're obsessed with at the moment, or at least that's how I look at it. It's like, for me, if I'm like looking up a game, it's gonna be one of the games that I'm like obsessed with at the moment, or it's like new and popular, or if it's like a content creator that I really like, I'll watch it for them. But if I'm finding a new person, it's not gonna be because I've heard stuff about the person. I'm like, oh yay, this person's really cool and I like their stuff. I'm gonna show up because I think of the like video game that they're playing, and then I'm gonna stay because I really much enjoy their like commentary and personality and stuff. And I mean, that's kind of what I hope I end up doing, which is why I want to like actually play popular video games, even if I still just kind of see it as background. But yeah, it's like if I play a popular game and then I'm entertaining on top of it, I feel like that's a lot more just generally appealing than playing a playing a game no one's ever heard about and having like great commentary. Because it's like, yeah, I can be enjoying myself all I want and having like great commentary, great jokes and everything, but if nobody shows up, then it doesn't mean anything. So I've been super worried about that. I hope I can get over it. I think it's I'm hoping once like the further like summer kind of goes away, I'm hoping more people are inside and are willing to stick around and watch Twitch stuff. But I'll try and bust out my best, most popularist. Why am I no? It's the games that I think will get the most attention. I'll try to like bust those out when it's like the middle of winter and people are actually like consuming content. Because I'd like to think, oh my god, you're freaking kidding me, I can't dash diagonally. But yeah, I'm hoping with all of my, I don't know, I just hope that if I keep at it eventually, which I haven't been keeping at it, I hope one of these days, if I just like keep at it for a long enough time, I hope there'll be a day where I can just I can stream whatever game I want, and I won't feel like pressured to play a game I don't want to play just because I think that'll get like content and everything. Which honestly kind of why I decided to stream this today, because I was like, man, this is a background game. I have stuff I want to say on my mind, and it's not like the video game is the main attention of the stream. It's just because I want to say words. That's like my thing. That's what I'm into. Also, freaking, like, nobody's gonna care about this, but I have been, like, kind of trying to get a girlfriend, and my face is not amazing, So I think it's kind of funny that like a lot of dating apps you like see the or just like dating things in general, you see like a couple pictures and you see my profile, you see a couple pictures, you're like ugh. And then you see the like actual, you see like the bio, and I hope that the funnier my bio is, the more chance I have of actually getting people's attention, because face is not where it's at, but I believe I have the ability to be entertaining sometimes if I can, you know, play a video game. Also, I just want to say, like, the second I turned on the camera and like thought about words to speak while gaming my heart out, it got a little bit harder to play the game, because it's like, when you're just playing a video game by yourself, it's like you can put as much attention to the video game as you want, but when you're like trying to make the commentary the main purpose, it makes it a lot harder to focus on the video game and actually like saying words, because I can, that's kind of why I think like speedrunning video games is such a weird niche, because that's like, speedrunning video games is the opposite of what I go for, because like when people speedrun games, it's people show up to watch a speedrun because of how good they are at the video game. Whereas I'm the opposite. I suck at video games, but I hope that my like commentary is enough to keep people around, which I think is crazy, because I did like actually try speedrunning once before, and I got third place in a thing that only has 3 records on it, which is kind of funny too, or at least I think it's funny. But yeah, I think it's crazy that like some people out there are just doing the like complete opposite of what I attempt to do, and they're being like infinitely more successful on it, because it's not what I'm going for. But like, yeah, I'm thinking if I could do something similar to that, I probably would switch up my entire thing. The only problem is I'm not good at video games. Like, I've heard like, of course, if you're watching an actual like popular streamer that's been doing like games and stuff for years, you get better at video games over time, just like on average, so you can like do the video games better. But like for a filthy casual such as I, like I'd say I'm worse than average. Like, I play video games, but I never really try hard them for the most part, and so a lot of people are just better than me. So like I think I have like 90-ish hours in this game, and yet here I am, not even like, I haven't even beaten all the levels in it. I have this screen, and then the final screen on the 9th chapter left, which hence the title of this stream, literally 2 screens left, cause yeah. Literally, and it's so annoying, because these last 2 screens, it's like, if you cut them up into like 5 screens, it would not be hard, but just the fact that you have to go through like this long of an area and do it flawlessly, it's a little bit tough, I'd say, just to like keep the decent amounts of skill going the entire way through. It also doesn't help that because of like the hot and cold shifters, the movement like changes from being floaty, because when it's cold, the movement is more floaty than when it's hot. Like the hot movement is just normal movement, but when it's cold, it's just like slightly more floaty, which is my excuse for saying that I suck at the game. Oh my god. That wasn't even about the floatiness, that was just me sucking. Yeah, also sorry if like audio quality is just complete garbage right now. I didn't even care about like trying to make the audio okay or anything. I just kind of turned on the camera and was like, yep, that's how it is, that's how it's going. And I do hope to get a better microphone and setup. Like my computer's not bad, it can stream the stuff I want to, and I believe I have better Wi-Fi than before, or at least it's about the same level. So it should be fine for streaming. I've noticed that at least with this game, like the bitrate has been like consistently like pretty freaking good. which is nice. So now I know I can play games that are like harder on my computer and be able to like stream them properly, which I think is going to be a blast, because I know there were some games at least that I wanted to stream, but I was very worried about like hardware and like Wi-Fi limitations and all that. So I definitely had a long time period where I just didn't play games that I really wanted to, because I was worried that like streaming and stuff wouldn't work properly. Because I know I tried to play like the first time I tried to play Slime Rancher, I couldn't and so the stream just like didn't work, which was terrifying, and I think that just kind of scared me, because it's like, if you go to play a video game and you like hit the stream button and then nothing works, what the frick do you do? It's because it's like when you like actually have a streaming thing, or like you're in the business, it's, you know that like you have a good enough like setup that pretty much any game that you want to play will like work good. But because I didn't, and I overestimated my computer and like internet's capabilities and everything, it was super freaking terrifying. And I hope to not run into the same problem again, because I upgraded my computer away a lot, and I think I also upgraded my Wi-Fi. And I think that should also help with like uploading videos if I ever decide to get back into like editing and cutting down the stuff. I know that I've been meaning to edit my like Just Shapes and Beats stream for a while, but I don't even know if that game would be good edited, because like kind of the most fun of it is just vibing to the music. Although I think like being a viewer of Just Shapes and Beats is infinitely different than actually playing it, because when you're playing the game, the songs just hit so much harder, because you're like you're because the game is super difficult, and it like kind of depends on you being able to like play the game good. And so I think the fact that everything goes to a beat makes it so that the music in the game is a lot more enjoyable and everything. And I feel like I do think the streams did like pretty good, but I think that's just because there were a lot of like fans that were like hyped up about it. Like I know there are a decent amount of just like niche games that have a really dedicated fan base for seemingly no reason. Like, of course, most games I'd say are good and like deserve a fan base, but I feel like some games just get a really like dedicated fan base out of nowhere, which is kind of crazy to me. Like I know in my personal experience, it seems like it's been Just Shapes and Beats and like Rain World have that thing exactly. Because I used to stream Rain World a lot, and I got a lot of attention because like the Rain World community is kind of starved for content, and by kind of I mean very. And so like people who are into Rain World just kind of like pop in on every single Rain World stream that's available. And so I got like, I think one of my highest streams was because I was playing Rain World, and I got like 17 viewers at one point, or something akin to that. And so it made it so I like thought I was actually getting popular, but no, it was just because of the video game. Like, of course, a couple people stuck around, which I really freaking appreciate that. I love it. Like, that's probably my favorite thing. It's the only game I've played where where people stuck around from it. Because with a lot of other games that I've streamed, it's like people show up and they exist only when I like play that one game, which, like I said earlier, it's kind of not what I'm going for. Like, it's, of course I gotta deal with it, because that's just like what being a streamer entails. But it's kind of frustrating when a lot of people show up to one thing and you think, oh, it's I'm like actually doing a good job like streaming this time, but no, you just like picked a game that is like more popular, or has people that are like looking for content of it at the moment. And yeah, I think that's a very interesting problem that I encountered. Of course, like anybody listening to this, it probably doesn't even matter or anything, but it's, yeah, I'm just saying my woes in losing viewers. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot, and I hope I get used to it. There's probably just a lot of stuff that I need to get used to. Sorry for the like super serious stream out of nowhere. I don't even know if I'm gonna be like doing this long, because I have work tomorrow, and I was planning on sleeping right about now. But It's cool. I think I'm just gonna talk until I either like beat this level, which isn't gonna happen, or I run out of stuff to talk about. I've also just noticed that I feel some of the games that I'm like super into just don't have a fan base at all. Like for Risk of Rain, like Risk of Rain 2 is very popular and very successful. Risk of Rain 1 is very not popular and not successful. Guess which one I like more? The original, yeah. So I'm literally like, one of my favorite games of all time is Risk of Rain Original, and if I ever try to stream that, it's not going to get any attention because the game kind of, I wouldn't say it sucks, it just didn't get much attention. But then like Risk of Rain 2 came about and got infinitely popular, and if you hear the words Risk of Rain, you think Risk of Rain 2. You don't think Risk of Rain 1, which is kind of annoying because I'd love streaming Risk of Rain 1 because I personally, like, I haven't played as much of the second game, obviously, because I don't like it as much, but just like from what I've seen, I personally prefer the first one. I just think the controls are a lot more simple. It's easier to like get an idea of what's going on, because with the second one, it's a third-person shooter, so it's like stuff is happening around you constantly, and you need to be like keeping an eye on literally everything. Whereas the first one is a 2D side-scroller, like side-scroller platformer thingy, and with that at least, like you could like zoom out the screen. You could see, like, if you zoomed it out all the way, you can see like half of the entire map, and in just a glance, and like see everything perfectly, and like know exactly what's going on and make a game plan immediately. Whereas with the second one, you almost never know what's going on, and it's a lot harder to like find the stuff that you need to find. Like the first, like both of them have the same gimmick. Like the longer you take, the harder the game gets, and so you got to get to the like teleporter and then move on to the next level to like advance before the game gets too hard. And in the first game, the teleporter glows bright red and is very like strong in contrast to the rest of the game. Whereas in the second game, the teleporter can just like spawn in a corner, and it can be a dark corner and just look the exact same as the rest of the game, and it can take you like 20 minutes to find it on one level. Maybe it's just because I'm not experienced at like looking for it enough yet, but I just think it's something that important, where it's literally like the progression of the video game should not be something that you can just not find after like 20 minutes, especially in a game like that like depends on playing it fast. Like that's one of my main complaints about it. Like, of course there are better items like the movesets, and all the characters are a lot more advanced and everything. It's a lot more in-depth. So like the game itself is designed better. I just think like from a beginner's perspective, like having the goal being like bright in contrast to the rest of the level, and like you easily know where you have to go, is a lot more just beginner friendly than it being a freaking like search every time you look for it. Which I guess it like that might have been the intent. It probably was, honestly. I just personally do not agree with it as much, because I think it's more fun like zooming out the camera super far, seeing exactly where you have to go, or even like not zooming out the camera exactly far, just like stumbling in the part where you like see it in the corner, you're like, oh okay, that's where I have to go now. Because you still like have to search through most of the map, especially if you make a couple wrong turns. But I think it was a lot easier to like tell which part of the maps were, which parts of the map were where. Maybe yet again just because I'm a newbie at it, but I felt like the 2D maps were a lot easier to like keep track of everything than the 3D maps. Like I know for a fact that like there were a couple variations of each map in the original, and it was just like slight variations, nothing that like mattered too much. Whereas in the second game, I don't know if they vary because I can't tell a difference. Like I've played a decent amount of runs. I've played maybe like 40-ish runs, and I know that there are different starting levels, but I don't know if the starting levels can like vary in their like layouts or anything, which I think is kind of a problem. Like, that honestly, yet again, might just be me, but I feel like if the levels are going to have variations, it should stand out and be easy to see, so that, like, you can know, like, you see one part's different, so you know, oh hey, that means this part's gonna be different, so I have to, like, look in this area to see if the teleporter is gonna be there. Because that was, like, one of the main strategies in the first game, because on some of the layouts, there were just, like, certain parts of the map that were cut off, and so you could just be like, you could see that one, like, visual cue, and then just be all like, oh, okay, that means I don't have to search this part of the level, or I have to walk around the level this certain kind of way. Like, there was one level where it was, like, a huge bridge on the top, and then, like, a valley at the bottom, and the level could vary, so either, like, the bridge was complete, or the bridge was broken, and you could see, like, if you started at the bottom, you could see all of the, like, the pillars were broken, so you could immediately notice, oh, okay, the bridge is broken, that means I don't have to search the bridge, and I should probably go search the, like, top half of the map so that I can, like, swoop around the center. And it was another thing is, like, whenever the bridge was complete, there was a secret in the top left. And so you could see the completed, like, pillars, and you'd be like, oh yay, now I can do the secret thingy. And yet again, it might just be because I'm new, but like, I never noticed any differences in the maps. The only thing I noticed was, like, on one of the levels, the, like, boss spawned without me. The boss was just kind of there when I showed up, and I didn't have to hit the teleporter, and then it, like, led to a secret thingy, and then I did the like, same level, and the thing wasn't there, and I thought that was, like, how it was supposed to work. Yet again, just because, like, it's a roguelike, so you're supposed to be confused at the start. But I thought that was, like, the progression, and that, like, the boss had to spawn into the start. So I thought, like, I encountered a glitch or something, because the first time that I went there, I couldn't find the teleporter no matter how hard I searched, so I didn't even bother looking the second time around. And so I just spent, like, way too long trying to find a like, secret or something, and I didn't even bother looking for the teleporter, and let alone the teleporter was there, which I believe kind of frustrating, yet again, just because it's a roguelike, you're not going to understand everything on the first time through. So, it's, yeah, me just complaining about the entire roguelike genre of video games when that's, like, one of my favorite type of games to play. Like, I love Binding of Isaac, I love Gungeon, I love Risk of Rain, obviously, and just, I think roguelikes are a very unique experience. I think it's very fun to be able to play a game over and over and always have it be new and, like, interactive and everything. And there's definitely, like, some roguelikes that I'm very interested to check out, like Vagante I've had my eye on for forever. I don't know if I'd really be into it because it looks kind of complicated. Whereas, like, Binding of Isaac looks simple, it's, like, easy to get a grasp on immediately. Risk of Rain and Gungeon, not so much, but, like, Vagante has, like, an entire, like, inventory management thing to it, and all that, so I don't know if I'd be super into that. I know I kind of want to try Spelunky and Spelunky 2. I don't know if I'd actually play much of Spelunky 2, just because it looks infinitely harder, and I've never played Spelunky Original, so I don't know how exactly I'd, like, fare with that, but I'd be down to try that if if they ever, like, go on sale in a bundle or something. I'm totally just gonna, like, buy both of those, but I do be trying to be frugal with my currency as of the whole, like, being moved out and living on my own thing, because I used to just be in my parents' basement, literally, but now I moved out and am in a apartment with a roommate, which is a completely different feeling. It's definitely, like, it's good to get the break from just, like, being in the same house as my family constantly. Oh, come on, I was there! Okay. But yeah, I think it's very much fun. I've been here in this apartment for 2.5 weeks at this point. And, like, all of my stuff was settled in, like, a week ago. I think me and my roommate are still trying to figure out how, like, groceries and bills work, which is kind of funny. Like, we went to the grocery store the other day, and, like, neither of us knew if eggs had an expiration date or anything on them. or like how the frick, or if we had to do anything like special, like keep them in the fridge or whatnot, or if we just kind of threw them in there and they saved or whatever. Like we just didn't know, which it was so freaking, it's such a unique problem that I didn't think I'd expect. And I know I got like a notice for like a bill being like paid automatically or something, and it just looked like a freaking actual bill, but I set it to pay automatically, so it was just like notifying me that it got paid and everything. Which I like got that and freaked out because I thought, oh my god, like my bills didn't pay by themselves even though I set them to like do that. So it was kind of spooky, but I'm assuming after like a month or two I'll get used to all that stuff. I hope. I mean, yeah, it's only been a couple weeks, so of course I'm gonna be a bit of an idiot when it comes to most of this stuff. But I mean, hey, that's part of the fun of it. At least I think it is. Because at least now I can like eat exclusively cereal and salt and vinegar chips, and nobody can stop me. My roommate might feel scared for my life, but he can't stop me because I'm paying half the rent. I definitely feel like if I would have returned from any of my like current shopping trips to my parents' house, they would have been insanely concerned for my well-being. But I think my roommate is also, but he can't stop me, and he can probably also hear me. Actually, I think he's playing video games very loudly in his room over there. I know, I think he's been kind of obsessed with Osu, which, it's a fun game, don't get me wrong, but I don't get how he can play it so much. That's the kind of game for me where I, like, play it once in a blue moon, and I get addicted to it and play it till, like, 3 in the morning, or whatever. And, yeah, I know that, like, the first time I downloaded Osu, I played it till literally like 5 in the morning the next day, and then I like didn't play it for months. Then I introduced it to my roommate, and we both played it till 5 in the morning, and then I kind of stopped playing it, but I think he's still been like going strong at it. He was telling me like it was his day off today, and he just spent most of it just playing Osu, and I'm like, oh my god, how do you play one game that long? Like, I have hundreds of hours in different video games, but if I play a game too much, I get tired of it and then just stop playing. Like, I have 800, 900 hours in Terraria, because I was addicted to it for a while, and now I have purely played enough of it so that I don't wish to play the game anymore. I still enjoy, like, watching other people play, because I think there's a lot of interesting stuff you can do in the game that I never bother doing because I'm not very creative with like building and stuff. So half of Terraria was just kind of lost on me because I liked Terraria for like the combat progression and everything, and the difficulty. So I really liked it when like Master Mode and stuff came out, because I thought it was super fun just like playing, because like the first time you play through Terraria, normal mode is a super hard challenge. Then you play through it again and you're like, oh, I actually like know how stuff works, so I can play it properly. and then you try like expert mode and you're like, oh, okay, it's like back to being a challenge again. And I remember like right during quarantine, the like the like Journey's End update came out, and so me and a few friends just freaking we just played like every day. I would like wake up, eat breakfast, turn on computer, play Terraria all day, eat dinner, then go to sleep. And we just played Master Mode until we freaking completed it, just through all of quarantine, and it was a freaking blast. And I added like 200 hours onto my playtime, just because Master Mode is a complete waste of time and has no reason for being that hard. They literally, like, all that happens in Master Mode is you get additional debuffs, everything does more damage, and has more health. And I think a lot of the, like, I think some drop rates are increased, some are decreased. I don't remember how it works exactly. But I think it's very funny how it's, like, Master Mode is just completely useless. Like, you don't need... You can play Terraria for thousands of hours and never touch Master Mode and still have a blast with it. But I think, like, with my personal taste of enjoying the, like, the combat progression and like getting stronger and everything in that game and like overpowering the enemies, I thought it was super fun to like have the master mode, because in normal mode you can just like make some potions, get like the right weapon for each boss, and then just win effortlessly. Whereas in master mode you had to get the right weapon, you had to get all of the potions that were possible, and you had to have like multiple friends to make it easier. And even then, like, I know there were a lot of times where it was like one of the bosses just completely kicked our butts, but because we each had like our different skills against the different bosses, there were multiple times where it's like two of us just kept dying over and over again, while the other one just like fended off or like survived in the boss arena for too long, and then like the person that was better against the like bosses would like die, and then everybody would freak out because we'd be like, oh god, we suck at this, but like the person that's actually good is like gonna be back in like half a minute, because they also increased the freaking like death timers, so you couldn't just farm the bosses by having a lot of friends. I think they also made it so that like when you play with friends in like expert or master mode, the bosses get more health or something. And I definitely know that like if one of my friends was not there to like help play, we would never have beaten it, because just for some ungodly reason he was just like insanely good at the Moonlord fight. Just for no reason, he was godlike. I think like the time that we won, me and the other guy that like sucked at it just kept on dying over and over again, and he just freaking like did the entire boss by himself, while we just like occasionally helped. Once our like cooldowns were, or our like death cooldowns were done, we like showed up for 2 seconds, did like 1 hit of damage, and then died again. Which I think that's also one of my favorite parts of Terraria. It's just like, if you play with friends and one person sucks at it, then who cares? What the frick was that? Yeah, because if one person sucks at a thing, then who cares? Because the other people are gonna make up for it. Whereas like the people I played with, they very much enjoyed like the building aspect, which is my least favorite part of Terraria. So I literally just like spent the entire run like trying to get way too strong and everything. So for the first like 90% of the run, I was just like way stronger than all of them, because I knew all of like the best weapons to get and like how they like worked good against each of the bosses and everything. So I was able to just like freaking carry for the first while, which I think was it was a very fun and unique experience for me, because like I said before, I'm not that good at video games, but just like because I had a lot of Terraria knowledge, because I played it for 1.5 million hours, I was able to like actually keep up, which I think was it was very fun, and it was a unique experience, especially with the master mode stuff, because the bosses that I was good against, I know I was good at like Skeletron Prime, and there was one other, but it was like Skeletron Prime was my main one. Like both of my friends kind of sucked against him, but for me, I think that's one of the easiest bosses in the video game, at least like when you have proper stuff. Like I feel like I could do that boss with like pre-hard mode stuff, honestly. And so yeah, it was the opposite of the Moonlord fight, where it's like, instead of me being the one dying over and over, they were the ones dying over and over. They were like, how the frick do you find this easy? And I was like, hee, because for some reason I was just super good at it. Even on master mode, which that part kind of surprised me, just because like you'd expect that to be a lot harder, and like even if I found something easy, it would still like kick my butt or whatever. But I just handled it perfectly fine. I think that was probably one of my favorite moments of the playthrough. Either that, or just like spending a lot of time hanging out with friends and stuff. Because even though it was quarantine, like all of my friends were online, or even if they were real life friends, we still did like Discord calls and everything to hang out usually. So it honestly didn't throw much of a damper in my experience of like hanging out with people. I know I also shoved in like 100 hours into Stardew Valley, And I kind of want to try playing Stardew Valley again, but my commentary when I tried last time was a bit dull. I think I'm better at commentating now, but I don't know if I'm good enough to commentate over Stardew Valley, because Stardew Valley is a really relaxing game. Almost nothing happens ever. Or, well, I mean, like, stuff happens, but none of the stuff is like, whoa, crazy, I gotta, like, commentate on this. It's like, I gotta point everything out, whoa, type stuff. Whereas, like this, it has its stressful moments, where it's like, I get to the end, and I'm like, oh, and all that. So, it's, yeah, I'm gonna give Stardew Valley a go again. I feel like that would be a fun one to just, like, grab a friend for. But, yeah, it's, like, since I, like, just finished high school and everything, all my friends have kind of, like, gone separate ways, and are like busy doing school and everything, and like moving and all that. So it's kind of hard to like have time to like actually play stuff with people. Like I've noticed I've almost like never played co-op games recently. Like since quarantine, I don't think I've played any co-op games. I think I played a little bit of co-op Binding of Isaac just to like test it out because I think it's funny. But like after that, I did not do much. But I still just think like that's kind of the fun of it, is just like, hey, if my friends are available, it's fun to play a video game with them, and like having a friend around makes commentary a lot easier, just because you don't have to carry the entire conversation to a wall against yourself. You can like actually talk to somebody and like bounce back ideas and everything. If both of you are like decent at like commentating and stuff, like having a co-host makes it infinitely easier on like everybody, because viewers get more like commentary, and I get to try a lot less than doing stuff, because it's when you have another person you can like take turns saying words and everything, whereas when you're alone, like I've been talking for almost an hour straight. And it gets kind of tiring for a bit, especially just like after an entire day's hard work, especially because like I work not as much customer service as I used to, because I used to be like the person on the voice box at a Taco Bell, so my speaking was my job. But I still do customer service stuff, and I talk a decent amount at work, which makes it so that when I talk a lot on like streams and everything, it definitely doesn't help the whole, you know, being able to articulate and like go for a long time, because my throat's already starting to feel a little bit not good. But, I mean, it's whatever. Wasn't planning on streaming that long anyway. I just wanted to get something out since it's been 10 million years. But yeah, it's basically, if anybody cares, I got a lot on my mind, and sorry, but when life goes rough, streaming is put on the back burner. It's not that I hate doing it, it's just if I'm having a rough time or like super busy with stuff, streaming is definitely not the main goal, because for streaming, on average, I make maybe 7 cents a stream, but that's like being generous. So working my actual job is a lot more beneficial to my wallet and just like general welfare. Like this is just a fun thing to do on the side that I hope kicks off eventually. It's not what pays the bills, it's not even what pays for like anything, because you have to get like a certain amount of money before Twitch even like sends you a paycheck or anything, and I have not gained that much yet, even though I believe it's about to be a year-ish anniversary since I started the whole streaming stuff. And I know that like I started pretty strong. Like there was definitely a point where I just like did a stream every single day, but I think that was because like school was in quarantine mode, so instead of doing school stuff, I just kind of didn't. And I definitely remember there were days where I just like didn't show up to any of my online classes and either like slept or streamed or edited, because I know there was it was like one of my first like attempts with editing stuff. Excuse me. Yeah, one of my first attempts with editing stuff. I like did the stream the night before. I was like, hey, I'm gonna try editing this thing, and it took me the entire night to like get it how I wanted it, because I was still like trying to figure out how like editing and everything worked. And then I looked at the clock when I was done, and it was like freaking 9:30 the next day. And I had like online classes, and I'd already missed one. So at that point I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna sleep instead. And then I woke up at like 5 p.m. to my parents like yelling at me because I didn't show up to school that day, which, I mean, I kind of deserved it, but also it's not like I would have learned much because teachers kind of sucked at teaching in quarantine. And that's definitely a huge thing that I noticed, is just like because of the online classes, like not even most, it's literally every teacher that like does school. They weren't trained, they've never practiced doing online stuff. So doing all the quarantine things was super rough on them, and me being a crappy student, I wasn't having it. So like definitely not a good combination. And I think like when quarantine just started, they like extended our spring break, and then they brought back school, but they made it so that your grades could only go up if you did the work, and they couldn't go down if you didn't do the work. So I showed up to one lesson for one of my classes, and I was like, no, this is BS. And then I didn't do any more classes for the entirety of my my junior year. And I did a very similar thing my senior year, where I paid attention in the classes that were fun, and the classes that I needed to graduate, which I think the only, like, I had 6 classes for the first semester, 5 classes the second semester. I only cared about, I had like a cooking class, I had Japanese, and I had to pass English to graduate. So instead of like, you know, paying attention in all my classes, I got a 24 in physics, and I got a 14 in introductory to college algebra. So my transcripts are not that good, but I mean, I'm not planning to go to college anyway. So it's, yeah, I knew how the system worked, so I did what I wanted, and nobody could argue because I graduated. Or, well, my parents definitely did argue with that, but I think at that point they had just kind of given up because they knew that I had my ideology of how I wanted to do it, and that I wasn't going to change how I was doing it, because it's definitely my outlook on school stuff for a long time was I will do what I need to do to move on and nothing else, because with middle school I knew that you could fail the classes all you wanted, then still like push you on. So I believe it was either 6th or 7th grade, I got literally straight Fs, which I think is very funny that I just like did that. And then I like heard that in high school, if you didn't pass all of the classes that you were supposed to, that you like could actually get held back and not graduate on time. And I wasn't about to do that. So instead of wasting all of that time, or wasting like an extra year with that, I just freaking like I passed. Like I did not fail a single class that I needed to graduate. Like, anytime that I knew, because, like, freshman year, or not even freshman year, in, like, 8th grade, they like, walked us through all the stuff that we had to do for being able to graduate. And, sorry. They, like, walked us through all the stuff that we needed to do to graduate in high school. And so from that day, I planned out exactly what I was going to do. I was going to do like any classes, like I was going to sign up for electives that looked fun. If they were actually fun, I was going to do them. If they sucked, I was going to not do them. And then I was going to pass all of the core classes that I was supposed to pass. And it worked out perfectly for me. I graduated on time. I honestly had more credits than I was, like, than was required for the classes, which I think nobody really expected that. Like, especially my parents, they definitely thought I was gonna my parents definitely thought I was gonna get like held back in high school, like going into at least, because what they had to look at was my like crappy middle school records, because I knew that I didn't have to care about middle school. And I think that was a lot of it for them. Like, they were definitely scared that that wasn't gonna work out. but then I freaking like crushed high school, and I remember it's they I don't think it's still a thing, but like sometime in elementary school, doctors were like, hey, your kid's special, and so then in like middle school they put me in the special class, which is like the worst thing ever, especially if you're like I think literally my main thing is that I'm shy, and like if I get going talking on something I don't really ever stop, which like honestly barely matters, but they shoved me in the special class anyway. And crazy thing about the special class, it's all team building exercises with people that don't know how to like make friends with other people, and then they shove the special ed kids into the same classes so that they can put an extra like teacher person in those classes to keep an eye on everybody. So all of the people that like couldn't make other friends got very attached to the other people that were in the special classes, and there was this one dude, I'm not gonna say his name, but like he got very attached to me just because I was in like the special ed class in high school, and he was also in there. So like we had, I think freshman sophomore year, we had like 5 or 6 classes together, which sucked. And this dude, it's like he was super attached to me. He always like wanted to sit next to me and like talk to me about whatever garbage was going on. I never really cared, but I know he was kind of crazy. He like attempted to be a sort of like semi-villain character, is how I like to put it, because I wasn't like I wasn't there because I refused to go to any like social events in early high school. But I believe freshman or sophomore year homecoming, he like spread a rumor by himself that like something dangerous was gonna happen in homecoming, and everybody like had to bring knives to protect themselves. And then homecoming came around, and he like gave the teachers or he either like gave the teachers a list or just like told them, a lot of the people that he talked to, about that. And he was like, hey teachers, these people brought knives, they're scaring me. And he got like so many people in trouble just like single-handedly, and like me hearing that, I personally think it's hilarious. But of course I wasn't there, so I'd assume everybody was pissed because like people totally got in trouble because of that. Like the school found him out eventually on it, but it's like just hearing that, I think it's hilarious that this person capable of just like doing all that by himself was like sucking up to me in the other classes like way too much. And I know there was also like people definitely hated him after that, and yet he like still refused to like stop talking to me. So like I tried staying away from people, and then like even when I wanted to like talk to other people, it's most of my classes that kid was also there, so nobody talked to me ever. And if I like tried to talk to them, they would just like not. So that was cool. And I think he did some other stuff, but nothing quite as funny as that. I think I'm trying to think. I remember I like watched the movie Joker with him, because he just like wanted to hang out, and he like offered to buy me a ticket. And like seeing a movie in theaters is not, it's not a hangout. People can offer to like do it with you as a friend, but it does not count as a hangout. You sit silently in a room and watch a movie, and if you have nothing planned outside of it, believe it or not, it's like you watch the movie, you talk for like 10 minutes, and then you leave. That's not hanging out. That's just like watching a movie. And so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's the free movie tickets. It's a good movie, or I'd heard it was a good movie. I hadn't watched it at the point. And so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'll just like watch this movie with him. And I remember at the end he was like waiting for his ride, and I was being polite and like hanging out with him. Then and he just started getting like, he was one of those characters where he was like, oh yeah, I relate so hard to the Joker guys, like, oh my god, I agree with all that stuff. And I was like, man, we are in public, maybe don't say that you want to murder people. Which, like, I think that's also kind of funny. Like, I was just trying to abuse this kid, and then he decided to confide, or he decided that I was the perfect person to tell that he would sorry, I was the perfect person to tell that that he was very advocate that he was very much an advocate that a lot of people he knew would be better off dead, and I was like, man, we are in a movie theater lobby. It's maybe keep those thoughts to yourself until later, okay? It's like you can talk to the mirror with those thoughts all you want, but I'm not a mirror, and I don't enjoy hearing those things. But I mean, I guess I was always on his like not murder list. I hope, because it seemed like he liked me for a long time. But I have a lot of stupid like complaints and stories just because of the whole like special ed debacle. Just because it's like all the people in those classes, they're all freaking characters. Just because of the stuff, like of course, not average, and they like try to get all of the not average people to associate properly, so they learn how to associate with the people who, like, they learn how to associate with the outcast, but not how to associate with the people who are like fitting in with everybody. So it doesn't work, but it leads to a lot of interesting things. Like, I think in middle school, there was this one kid who, he literally just played on his phone, constantly through every, effective ed, or, like, special ed class. And, I remember, like, somewhere around, like, halfway through the year, or like halfway through like middle school, he just like stopped showing up to class, and I was like, what's going on? And the teacher was like, oh yeah, he didn't need the class, so he got let out. And I was like, bruh, because it's, for me, I was trying to be a good kid at least, so I'd never really like played on my phone or anything, and I like actually did the activities, and apparently they counted that as needing the class and not just trying to be nice. So I was super pissed about that for a while, and then they also shoved me through 2 years of it in high school, which the high school one wasn't that bad because like the teacher realized pretty early on that I didn't need any of the stuff, because in high school it was more of just like a study period where like teachers there to like help the people like understand the like classwork and everything, which I didn't need because I had already like finished all of the classwork that I needed beforehand, so I just kind of read books every time that I showed up to that class, and the teacher couldn't do anything about it because I was passing all my classes, which I think that was just so weird, because I got an entire, like, I got 2 full credits just for sitting in that class and doing almost nothing, because I was fine with my other classes, because it was supposed to be, like, help for people who, like, couldn't do school stuff as good as everybody else. Which I didn't need that. And I think it was very comedic and good for proving my point that I didn't need it at all, and I should not have been in there for the like 5 years that they forced me into that position, because like, yeah, I was there through all of middle school and the first 2 years of high school, and like I didn't mind too much because there were some cool people in those classes, but of course none of the cool people really deserve stories because they were cool. Like, yeah, it's that's about it. I'm trying to think of other stuff. I know that they also had a sorry, I remember there was one time the teacher like tried to teach us how to play blackjack, which I think was very funny, trying to promote gambling to people who are maybe not in the best state of mind to go gambling. And I just thought that was very funny, and also just like having all of those people that like don't know to like shut their mouths in a room together. There were a lot of fights and just like stupid stuff. Like there were a lot of people who were hated by everybody. The dude I was talking about before and one other kid, they like hated the crap out of each other, and everybody knew it, except for them. Like I talked to both of them separately, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I know that he likes me, but I freaking hate this dude." And like me being on the sidelines, of course I laughed because I didn't really care about either of them, and I just thought it was entertaining that they were like they thought it was one-sided on each end, and and all that. And there was also this other dude who he brought weed to class a solid, I think it was like 5 times or something. Like, he brought weed to class, got found out, got suspended for a couple days, came back, immediately got caught with weed again. Then he came back again after a longer suspension. Same thing repeated a couple times until I don't know if he just like actually fixed his ways or if like something happened and stuff like that. But excuse me. I believe either eventually he like realized that maybe bringing weed to school was not a good idea, or he probably just like hid it better. But I think it was very funny. I saw this kid for the first time in like weeks because he'd been suspended for a couple weeks, and just immediately the teacher was like, "Oh, just like take that out of your bag. Come on, man. Like leave it in your car or something." It's like the teacher was just like pleading at the kid to like hide it better, which I always thought that was hilarious. Just like being on the sidelines witnessing this kid just like, because the teacher obviously liked the kid, because I mean like being the effective ed teacher, like you have to like kids, or at least like the students that are being there, otherwise you'd want to kill yourself constantly. So yeah, he enjoyed all of us, but definitely got upset when stuff like that happened, which I mean I totally understand. Because, like, being there on the sidelines, I was still like, just come on, man. Like, just leave it in your car or something. Like, don't bring it in a bag that doesn't close properly so it lets all the smell out. Like, that's literally, I don't do any weed, but, like, weed lesson 101, don't do that, especially at school. And I know more just, like, school weed stories, but I know there was this one person that got, like, they got like prescribed oh god, what is it? A like THC imbued cream or something for like an injury, and she just like spread it around the math class, and like half the kids were just like high in the middle of geometry, and she was like, oh, what's going on today? Like all of you seem so off. And yet again, I don't know, I was kind of a background character in school. I didn't really talk to anybody, but I listened to the goings on around me a lot, which I think it led to me knowing the backstory of a lot of stuff that happened without actually like partaking in any of it. And I know I was also the kid that like I never really dealt with teachers much. Like, if I was doing my own business and the teacher was like, hey, maybe don't do that, I always argued back even though I was clearly in the wrong, literally like every time. And in freshman year Spanish class, I knew it was a class that I didn't need to graduate, and so I like tried for a little bit, then I realized I hated the class, so then I just started reading in class, and then the teacher was like, alright, no, you can't do that, and so she like took my book, as a teacher should. So the next day, you want to know what I do? I bring 2 books. Teacher gets pissed at me for reading, takes my book, I pull out the next one. She takes that one too. Next day, 3 books. Next day, 4. Next day, 5. Next day, 6. Next day, 7. Next day, she gives up. I win. I spend the rest of the year reading books in that class. I don't remember a lick of Spanish. But I know that the limit of that teacher's patience was 7 books. And that's honestly a personal achievement. I know in a different class, I wasn't even doing anything wrong, but I like finished my work and I went to reading a book, as I do because I was an antisocial outcast. And craziest thing, it was an English class too, and I was reading the book that they assigned to me. Or there was like a project going on at the point, and I was reading the book that I was like using for the project, and I like finished my work. The teacher walked over and was like, hey, you can't be doing that in the middle of class. I was like, but I finished my work. And then he looked at the page, it was like all the stuff was done, and he was like, yeah, you have detention now. And you want to know how detention works? You either do schoolwork or read a book. So I got detention for reading a book, went to detention, read a book more. So yeah, that was cool. I remember like when you got detention in my high school, at least one of the security guards would like walk you out to the detention place, and they usually tried to like make small talk and everything. And I remember I was telling this dude the exact story of how I got detention. He was like, what the fuck, man? Like, he literally just like said that to me. I was like a sophomore at the time or something. It was like, yeah, you shouldn't be getting detention for that. And I thought it was really funny. It's like everybody was on my side, but that teacher was just being a piece of garbage. And like, it literally worked out fine, because then I didn't have to do the schoolwork and I could read my book like I wanted. And I think it happened again in a different class, but I kind of deserved it, because instead of doing the work, I was reading the book. And eventually teachers like smartened on a little bit, and they were like, and they like called the detention place, and they were like, yeah, this kid's not allowed to read books in detention, which I thought was very hilarious. Like, they had to make a specific call just for me because I was such an outlaw for reading. And so there were days where I didn't have my backpack. I was sent to detention, or I had like a tiny bag that like just had a couple books in it or whatnot, and I was sent to detention. The teacher's like, do you have any schoolwork to work on, because I can't have you reading books in here? And I was like, nope. And I was like, do you want to see what's in my bag? I showed them, it was like 3 books, and they were like, okay, so you can't read any of the books that you have, but we do have they had like a tiny bookshelf in the detention area where they just had a bunch of crappy books that just weren't good. But I mean, I still read them because they're like, yeah, you don't have any schoolwork, but we can't have you reading your books, so read these books instead. So instead of reading books, because I got detention for reading books and they told me I wasn't allowed to read books anymore, I read books in detention, but different books. And that kind of made me feel like I ruled the school for a bit. Just because I like so outsmarted the system that nobody knew what to do with me. It was like detention for the weirdest reason, and I like abused it in the weirdest way possible. Because it's usually, you think people get detention for like getting in fights or like disobeying the teachers or anything. I guess I technically disobeyed the teachers, but like I've never heard of anyone else getting detention for such a stupid reason, and the teachers just like not being able to do anything about it. Which I count that as a personal W, and I think more people should learn from my ways. I also know there were a few times that I just like straight up backtalked the teachers like insanely hard, and like so hard that they didn't deserve it. I was just being a freaking piece of garbage, and they did not deserve that at all in the slightest. And yet here I was just like being completely mean to them. And I know I was like shut up to school early and just like sat in the hallway before classes. And there were multiple occasions, like I backtalked a teacher super hard or whatever, and the next day I was just like sitting waiting for class to start. And then like a random group of people walked up to me and they're like, hey, that thing you did in Mr. Whatever's class, that was pretty cool. And I swear, I never recognized any of them. Like, not once did I recognize the people that said that, but I swear it happened to me a solid like 50 times through all of like high school. And I don't get it, because like, yes, I backtalked the teacher a lot and got a lot of detention, but none of them I was ever like in the right. Like, I agree, I was a piece of crap and like deserved a lot of detention and probably didn't like get in enough trouble as I should have, but like, people applauded me for that, and I don't get it. Because like I know for a fact that I was in the wrong, and I never like did any of those things correctly. Like, I was back-talking the teacher because I was a piece of crap and the teacher was trying to get me to pay attention in class, and I was refusing. Like, that was every single time. I was like either playing on my phone too much and the teacher's like, yeah, no, you can't do that, or I was like reading too much and the teacher was like, yeah, no, you can't do that. And I was like, yeah, no, screw you, I'm doing what I want. And there were definitely times where I was like sent out into the hall for not paying attention, especially during my senior year. Like senior year physics, I got a 24 as my final grade in that class out of 100, with a 59% and lower being an F. And there were days in that class where I was like playing on my phone or whatever, and the teacher was like, yeah, if you're not gonna pay attention, sit in the hall until you're ready to pay attention again. And so I just sat in the hall and played on my phone until the class ended, which I always thought that was very funny, because the teacher was like, yeah, don't play on your phone, but I'm gonna give you the perfect excuse to play on your phone. And I don't know, I personally, I very much also counted that as a huge W, just because, like, I don't think teachers know how to deal with students who just refuse to, like, learn and everything. Because I definitely, like, I knew how the teachers, like, worked with all that stuff, so I made sure to abuse it and everything. Or at least I did the best that I could, and a lot of those times just ended up in me getting my way because I was a piece of garbage. And I think I did a good job. Teachers probably hated me. My school record looks like a piece of garbage, and it is like a mile thick, but I won, and that is all that matters. And now I think I also, like, with school and jobs, I think when parents see a kid sucking at school stuff, or at least, like, not getting good grades, they assume that they're gonna suck at, like, job stuff, which is not how it works, because, like, job stuff happened, and I knew that the job was actually important, so I put effort into my jobs, because I knew, like, school wasn't important and I could pass without any effort, so I did the bare minimum. And my parents were super worried about that, but then I, like, got into the working force, and my parents were shocked that I was doing the bare minimum. Or, I went a little bit above the bare minimum. But, like, they were shocked that I was actually doing my job properly, which I always thought was kind of funny, because I knew the entire time that I was, like, capable of working properly, but I think my parents just, like, never got any proof of that, so they were always worried about my, like, capabilities of doing stuff like that. So I proved them mega wrong, and now my boss compliments me, honestly, kind of too much. Like, but my newest boss very much enjoys my presence as an employee, which is a unique experience to have the higher-ups very much pleased with me. Because as I was just saying, like, through the entirety of school and at least a little bit of being in the workforce, I was not the most appreciated for obvious reasons. And now I think, like, my roommate recommended me and one of his other friends to, like, to work at the job, and I heard my boss, like, my boss was talking to a coworker. I walked in, I heard my name, and I was like, wait, what's going on? And he was saying the other person that my, like, coworker recommended was kind of a loss, because she just, like, didn't do the job well, or whatever. I don't know. She, like, quit like a week after I joined or whatever. And yeah, but he basically just said that, like, that other recommendation was a huge L, but I was a big W, which very much made me feel happy and appreciated. Although I don't think I deserve it, because I don't know if my last job was just so stressful and hard that I was used to being overworked, and now it's just, like, my constant state. But I've been told that, like, the stuff that I'm doing is meant for, like, 2-3 people to do, and I'm, like, carrying it alone after working there for, like, 3 weeks. But I don't believe it, because at my last job, I was doing more things, or, like, by the time that I would, like, quit, I knew how to do pretty much everything in the restaurant, so I worked at Taco Bell, and I knew how to do pretty much everything there, so obviously I did, like, almost everything, and I was, like, able to help with almost everything there. Whereas here, it's like I'm doing, like, there's, like, 3 main positions, and of course the, like, management, who, like, knows a decent amount of everything, like, and I work at a place where we just, like, rent out trucks and stuff, so of course when people bring back the trucks, we gotta, like, check them in and, like, make sure they're clean and everything. And so my job is to, like, check in and rent out the, like, trucks and trailers and everything. And apparently, like, even just receiving all of the trucks and, like, helping the trailer stuff is supposed to be a 3-person job at, like, or, like, when it's staffed properly. And where it's, like, 2 people are, like, purely there for receiving the trucks, and then, like, rock, paper, scissors, or whatever for who deals with all the trailers and everything. But, of course, we don't have that much staff at the moment, so most days it's either, like, me and one other dude, or, like, just me. Because, of course, other dude has to have days off, and he probably has days where it's just him working on it. And, yeah, my boss seems very proud that I'm able to do what he asked of me, which is shocking, and I feel bad for him with what his previous employees were able to do. Because if what I'm doing is complimentable, it just makes me think, like, wow, this dude's other employees must have not been that amazing. Because really, I'm setting the bar very high, and that's kind of ugh. Of course, it doesn't help that it, like, low self-esteem stuff, but it's honestly, like, I don't know if just so much stuff has, like, happened recently, or if it's just, like, been forever since I've streamed, but I have not had a stream where I just, like, talked this constantly and was able to, like, keep conversation, even with myself, because, like, it's a couple of my, like, better streams, it's, like, chat was really active, so I was able to bounce off chat with everything. But with this one, chat was active for the first, like, 5 minutes, and we're going on an hour and a half, and I've yet to shut up, which I think is honestly, like, I'm very surprised about that, very happy that I was able to do that and everything, but I didn't expect it, which is new to me, because usually I, like, talk for maybe, like, 10-15 minutes, I'm able to say that much stuff, and then if chat doesn't exist, I just kind of flounder and am unable to exist properly. Whereas, freaking look at here we are. Maybe I honestly, probably just because it's been a break and I've had a lot on my mind, just, like, not been able to say anything of it. But yeah, I think it's, I hope I can get more into streaming stuff. I'll definitely try to, you know, do a better job at it in the future. Like, there's definitely going to be later streams just because my job, like, most of my shifts are 11 to 7, so it's, like, the streams are gonna be, like, 8 or onwards. Like, I think this one I started at, like, 9. Or, no, this one I started at freaking 10. So, yeah, usually, like, this late, or a little bit earlier, probably, for my streams, because, I mean, boys gotta eat and, like, make sure I actually take care of real life stuff before I stream. And also, I don't know if I'm gonna do any streams at all this weekend, because I am going to a anime convention, and that's gonna, like, take up the entire weekend and everything, and I'm not even gonna be, like, staying in my apartment for that weekend, because my parents' house is a lot closer to the venue that it's happening at, so I'm just gonna, like, stay the weekend there and return back to apartment afterwards. So I hope that I'm able to keep up with streaming after that, because I know, like, whenever I take a day off or anything, I get a lot more motivated to take more days off, which is a really bad habit, honestly. But I'm very much hoping that I'm able to, like, keep stuff up and going eventually. I think once I, like, settle into my apartment and my new job and everything, streams will be a lot more stable, because I know a lot of my struggles with beforehand was just, like, school and work and streaming was very hard to do, and then near the end of my time at Taco Bell, the work got a lot more stressful, and we were super understaffed, and the boss was kind of a piece of garbage, and all that good stuff. So it was very hard to keep my motivation up to, like, stream those days, and I know that just because, like, moving and everything, that's also been a lot stressful, and all that. But I'm done moving. I'm settling in. I know that, like, first couple, like, the first entire, or I wouldn't say entire week, but most of the first week, like, I moved all of my stuff in on, like, the first day. It took me a couple days to, like, get everything put together and all that, but, we didn't have, like, any kitchen utensils or, like, furniture. We had to go buy a table from IKEA, which was kind of, it was a unique experience. It was, like, the first time I'd ever been to an IKEA, and those places are terrifying. There's a really, like, huge one. I don't know if they're all huge, but there was a really big one that's, like, 20 minutes away from where I live. And we just kind of like went there and freaking bought a table and some chairs, and then I forget what day of the week it was, but it was like I think it might have been a Wednesday, because I have Thursdays and Fridays off. So my roommate put all the chairs together on like Wednesday night or whenever he did it, and then I had the next day off, and I just spent like that entire day just putting together the freaking table, because for some reason whoever designed the table instructions did a very scary job of it, and I sucked at doing it. So it took me a long time. I also I got a new desk and chair when I moved out. It was like a gift from my parents, and I had to like get that all set up before I could even like use my computer, because beforehand I like when I was living in my parents' house, there wasn't a single like actual computer desk in the entire house. So I was just kind of using the desk that was in whatever room I was occupying at the moment. And that led to a lot of not proper computer situations, and like crappy chairs, and just basically uncomfortable computer experience, whereas now I have an actual gaming chair and an actual like gaming desk and everything. And I kind of need to like buy some new cords and everything. I kind of want to get some LED lights too, just to like fit my stuff, because it's my setup is very like black and pink, and so I feel like getting some pink LEDs just to like go with it would be cool, because I have like an axolotl plushie, I have a Kirby plushie, and one of those like octopuses that switches colors when you like flip it inside and out, and I have it set to the pink setting, and all of my like backgrounds, or my backgrounds on my computer are pink, whereas my desk and chair are like black and gray. So I was assuming like, hey, if I got some LED lights and like put it on the back of my computer or whatever, it could look pretty snazzy if I just had like a soft pink going on with that, just to like fit the rest of my getup. Is that I think that's the right word, honestly. I've been talking for so long that words have escaped my brain, and I should probably honestly like go to sleep soon, because I have work tomorrow, but who cares about work? All I care about is gaming. Also, I've noticed that like those falling platforms right before this guy, if you like grab the side of them, or if you grab the side of the first or last one, it like doesn't fall. So they're only set to fall if you like touch it from the appropriate side, which is kind of funny to me. It's, if anybody's even able to notice. I feel like at this point, for the like one viewer that's here, it's either a podcast or you just left the stream open. But I do think it would be very fun to just like have my stuff have like a podcast reputation, just to like, I don't know, I think having a reputation as me being the content other than the game being the content is exactly what I'm going for, although I already kind of said that. Although I do hope that I get better at video games eventually, because this is kind of embarrassing. Just like being unable to do any of this crap for an entire stream. Like I've already shoved in, you can see, where it's almost like the 3-hour mark of my attempts on this one level, and I've been on this one screen for at least definitely more than half of that, which is a little disheartening, but I mean, it's Celeste. You kind of have to deal with expecting it to take a long time. Oh, what the frick was that? I think I jumped too early there. Whatever. Yeah, I think I'm gonna shove a few more attempts at this, then head out. This is actually like freaking, the stream felt really good, just like being able to say words for such a constant amount of time. Because I know, like, if this ends up being an actual job, like, I'm gonna be talking for longer than this every single day. So having, like, one good stream where I'm actually able to talk at a wall and, like, be entertaining, or at least I'm entertaining myself, honestly. But, like, yeah, being able to, like, shove out continuous commentary for an hour and a half-ish, it feels very good, because usually I struggle at being able to commentate perfectly. Or, it's not perfect, it's far from it, actually. But just, like, I struggle being able to commentate as good as I feel I should be able to. Also, I just went too far on that jump. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna play much more Celeste, because it's literally, like, I have this screen and the, like, final screen of the 9th chapter left, which I both suck at a lot, and I think this, like, main save file of mine, I'm at 20,000-ish deaths, and after this stream it's probably 21,000. I won't lie, because I suck at the game. But, I mean, I have tried, like, non-seriously speedrunning the base game, and, like, with the time that I got, I would have actually been, like, 2,000th place, which is pretty honorable for, like, for a game like this that's so speedrun heavy, and, like, has a lot of recordings and everything. I feel like it would be fun to just, like, sit down one day and just do a stream where I just speedrun Celeste and maybe mess around a bit longer. Because I definitely, like, I'm skilled enough at this game to get done with the base game in a little over 2 hours. Honestly, I might be able to do better if I, like, actually decided to practice or anything. But I believe the time that I got in my best run was 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 14 seconds or something along the lines of that. So, pretty decent time. Of course, world record's, like, under an hour by far. But, coming from someone like me that's kind of sucky at video games, it feels nice being able to just, like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It doesn't fall until you stand on the top of it. Sorry. I died because I did that. Yeah, okay. The stream's over. I died in a stupid way. That means the stream's over. Bye. Thanks for checking it out. And also poggers to the one person who stayed the entire time. That's so cool. I love what? Oh, wait. It says there's 2 people here the entire time. That's even more poggers. Join my Discord right now. I'm sending a link in chat because Discord is poggers. And also, if you listen to this, I feel like I hope you might want to check out one of my other streams eventually. Alright, see ya. Thanks.